Funela, welcome back.
Thanks,
And we
Ash.
are going to discuss now about self-discipline and
Yeah.
mastering control over our own actions.
Shall we take a look at the picture?
Yes.
It's a great place to start, I think.
So as you can see that there is a frog who's jumping at a fly.
Yeah.
A fly is the metaphorical goal, aspiration
Okay.
we might have. The other frog is sitting with their phone or a tablet
Yeah.
in their hand, and there is a net.
Uh-huh.
As you can see, a net
Yep.
is coming.
Yep.
So that is the cost of distraction in today's world.
Yeah.
Have you seen people walking around with their mobiles
yes.
and texting?
Oh, yes.
And
Yep.
sometimes they can even have a fall.
Or walk into you.
walk into you, or they are
Yeah.
climbing down the stairs
Miss a
on the
step.
phone all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that is the cost of distraction.
Yeah.
So
You're not-
discipline,
Yeah.
discipline versus distraction.
Okay.
Now self-discipline is the most important skill
Yeah. Yeah.
overall in all the skills, because if you do not have self-discipline, you would not self-care.
Okay.
If you do not have self-discipline, you would not have the discipline to do self-reflection.
And it sounds like discipline is something that makes you, it's a mechanism by which you really attach to those things which are going to help you, that you've identified through your self-awareness and your self-reflection. So then there's something about bringing in self-discipline as part of the process.
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible for you to tell me a little bit about how you do that? What's been your journey?
So, Funela, as you know, that I've come, I don't want to be bragging about my qualifications here, but
Yeah.
it takes a level of hard work and industry to complete this journey of being a consultant,
Yeah.
physician, and it's 30 years now in healthcare.
Wow.
So it takes a degree of self-discipline to be studying, going through the exams,
Yeah.
and highly competitive exams at both a national and international level.
Mm-hmm.
But what has been very insightful for me to understand that having self-discipline in one area does not equate to having equal amount of self-discipline in other areas. Like my levels of self-discipline
Yeah.
when it comes to fitness
Yeah.
and exercise
Uh-huh.
are not as good.
Yeah.
And my brother, on the other hand,
Uh-huh.
he has run 5 marathons in 6 months.
Yeah.
And he wants me to run the London Marathon next year.
Yeah.
And I've still not started training for it.
Yeah.
Because for me, there is high value on work, high value of being a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I am a full-time consultant in general internal medicine.
Yeah.
And now a high value on writing a book so that I can serve the millions of people around the world.
Yeah.
But I have less value on fitness.
Okay.
Now I know my discipline in those areas is not as good.
Okay.
So I have put up structures.
Tell me more about the structures.
So I've got a coach. Sometimes I would work by 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And I've got also a fitness team, and I would work long distance. So when I would go and have my session in the gym,
Yeah.
they would be with me on the phone,
Yeah.
and they would be telling me different exercises to do.
Yeah.
So there is some level of accountability.
Okay.
Also, what happens when I'm coming back after a full day at work,
Yeah.
I cannot be bothered
Yeah.
many times
Yes.
about but if I know that I've got a session, then I have to go.
Yeah.
But the best thing I find
Yeah.
in a session is my connection with the trainer.
Okay.
I will have the conversation about what went well during the day.
Right.
How was my energy?
Yeah.
How was my nutrition?
Yeah.
Whether I had enough water.
Okay.
Sometimes. So he tells me that I got to have 3 liters of water. Simple
Okay.
thing.
Very simple
Hydration.
thing. Yeah. But it
And-
sounds like that makes it relevant to your own life and your own lived experience, having
Yeah.
those conversations.
Having those conversations will bring your attention back to the practices which are important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your attention will come if you have put the structures.
Yeah.
Because as I told you, that we cannot have the same level of discipline
Yeah.
in all the areas of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe some people who are exceptional might have, but I'm talking about a majority of the population. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree with that. And I think I brought in the example of people, and I've done this too, who join gyms and then somehow you don't go to the gym.
You join it
Yeah.
in January,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
a downward slope.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's asking yourself the question, okay, how can clearly I think I need something. What is it I need? It's connecting to that need. What's going to be different if I meet that need? Could I arrange to go along with someone? What's the leverage? Maybe you can't employ a team, but maybe there's something else you can do. You can find a friend. You can really connect to what this is going to do for you.
So it comes with level of awareness
Yeah.
that why it is important for you.
Yeah,
Knowing that if you are doing a particular activity, it's going to have much more benefit
yeah,
than long-term losses.
yeah.
Will create a internal level of motivation for you
Of
to do it.
course.
And if for some reason you are not able to do that, then you set up structures.
Yeah,
So discipline in areas which are important, discipline to do reflection,
yeah,
discipline to do self-care.
yeah. It sounds like it's about making it meaningful to you. And sometimes we think of it, sometimes discipline can sound like a frightening word or a negative word, like discipline. I mean, I know when I was at school here in Scotland as a child, our teachers could belt us. You know, that could happen. My kids are horrified if I talk about that. So discipline sometimes has this negative connotation, but actually the way that you're talking about it, it's just having practices. It's having things that support you. It's having a system.
The more discipline you have, the more focus you will bring to that particular activity.
Yeah,
And with that focus, you are able to take action and execution.
yeah,
Now, this book is about transformation.
absolutely.
I did not want to just give information and information and information.
No,
We have tons of it on Google.
of course.
And now with AI, Funella,
Yeah,
I wanted to share information in a way that it causes transformation.
yeah, yeah,
And if you see this frog, he's getting into a trap.
mm-hmm.
So we also know that the lack of discipline, what are the traps?
Yeah,
Whether it's creating a health trap, whether you're going to get an illness,
yeah,
whether you don't have discipline on how you spend your money,
yeah,
then are you going to get into a lot of debts
yeah,
because you don't have financial discipline?
yeah,
So similarly, how a lack of discipline is affecting different parts of your life.
yeah,
So it is an important skill to have, to hone
yeah,
and be aware that what are the areas
yeah,
you have high levels and what are the areas where you don't have high levels. Because when you don't, then you can create structures
yeah,
and have better outcomes in those areas.
Of course. And we're talking self-discipline. We're talking about what you decide that you need from that place of self-awareness and self-reflection. So sometimes I might even ask a client, well, it sounds like you really want to change something, and that means sticking to something. Is there kind of a personal rule that you feel you would like to make? So you're not following somebody else's rule. You're deciding, what is it that I need? What rule do I want to set for myself? And just enshrining that something as a statement, you can keep returning to it. It's like a meditation. It's helping to embed that. Because we've not really even touched on the subconscious here, but obviously that's alive in all of this holistic practice as well, is that we keep bringing things to ourselves at all levels of our consciousness. I'm thinking about you going down to the lake
Yep.
and just contemplating what's happened in the day. That's self-discipline.
That's-
But it's so
that's-
gentle.
that is,
It's gentle and beautiful.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it takes huge amount of self-discipline.
Yeah.
And I have to share with you that I'm not able to do it every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Because sometimes I would say, oh, it's raining outside.
Yeah.
I can get a little lazy, or I've got some admin work to do.
Yeah.
But when I'm able to do that,
Yeah.
the the beauty it creates,
Yeah.
the positiveness of the emotions it creates is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Because we have got a lovely lake, beautiful woods around the hospital, and it takes around 3 to 4 minutes walk.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will take some food for the swans and duck,
Yeah.
and I'll also go and have my lunch there, and I feed the ducks and swan. It's a very meditative moment.
Yes.
And when I come back, I'm recharged
Yeah.
for the afternoon.
You've really found something. And I remember I think it was during the time you were working in Ireland, you did share with me that, you'd kind of been told that connection with nature was good for you, but you weren't sure how to do that. And it wasn't something you'd ever been big on.
Right.
It feels like you've built this practice, and it's something you really value from your inside out. It's not just because somebody's told you. It's something that you've really internalized. And that's self-discipline. It's not about beating yourself up.
And transformation will come only when you execute, when there is execution.
Yeah.
Execution will come out of self-discipline.
Yeah.
That is the key.
It's that firm resolve.
It's that firm
there's
resolve.
Something you want. It's, I want this.
Yes.
And so I'm going to put the work in.
Yeah.
And this is what the work looks like. Because
Yeah.
it is work. But you make those decisions about that work with your coach, with whoever's your partner on the way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Funela.
Thanks so
that
much,
was a
Ash.
very productive discussion on self-discipline. I think we have set the readers and listeners to this very important skill.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star review, a like, or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people looking to transform their stress into new comfort. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment and share. For more tips and updates, please be sure to check out our social media links in the description box below. We can't wait to have you with us next time as we continue this journey towards turning stress into resilience. Remember, it's not the stress itself, but how we rise above it that defines our strength. So stay resilient and keep thriving, and we will see you next time.